Right, Sam Howes, a big warm welcome to Woking Football Club.
Thank you.
Good to see you here. When we were here doing an interview with Douse a couple of weeks ago, and towards the end of that, he jumped up and said, "Oh, there's a player just coming up the stairs," and that was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Just coming to have a chat and talk about things with a view to coming to Woking.
Yeah, no, it's obviously it's good to get it all done and dusted now. So pleased to obviously be here at such a great club, obviously great fan base as well, and obviously looking forward to getting started.
Good. I think the information that you're coming to the club is out there. Actually, it's not a secret anymore. But never mind. Let's be clear that we weren't able to do anything till now because you are under contract at Watford until the end of June. But you have, if I'm right, signed what's called a pre-contract agreement with Woking.
Yeah, that's correct. Obviously, my contract at Watford runs out at the end of this month, and then the Woking one will kick in basically straight after that.
Right. Good. Okay, well, let's go back in time then. Find out a little bit more about you as a keeper and a person and so on. You started off at West Ham, is that right?
Yeah, so I was there at West Ham from 10 upwards all the way through to about 19. Spent most of my time there, playing across all the age groups, all the way up to 23s and making my first team debut as a 16-year-old in a pre-season game in New Zealand. So most of my time at West Ham was very good, and it certainly helped me develop through the years as well.
And who were you playing alongside that we will know?
So played with quite a few different people. So there's quite a few of the Luton boys at the moment. So Elliot Lee, Dan Potts. You've also got Josh Cullen as well, who's been at Charlton. He's obviously gone on loan there from West Ham and got promoted. So I played with quite a few of the boys now. Have obviously gone on loan and obviously gone on to do bigger things. Another one would be Declan Rice as well.
I wondered about him.
Yeah,
he's the same age as you, isn't he?
He's a year below me, but he's quite a close mate of mine. It's obviously good to see what he's done. So.
Yeah. And any coaches that we might know the names of?
Steve Potts, West Ham legends. He's one of them. Obviously he worked under Billage quite closely as well.
Yeah.
So when I was training with the first team, obviously very good coach, very nice guy as well. So.
Right. And we shouldn't gloss over the fact that not only were you there at West Ham being successful for all those years, but you actually played for four different England age groups.
Yeah,
during that period.
Yeah, played from 16s all the way up to 19s. Was fortunate enough to be part of European Championship winning squads under 17s in Malta, which was probably to date one of the best experiences I've had in football. I was also part of the under 19 Euro squads as well. So I've had the experience of obviously playing at the big tournaments, not only in this country but also globally as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned Malta. There's a little bit more of a story attached to that one, isn't there?
Yeah. So at the time, obviously, I was doing my GCSE year at school, and obviously in the back of my head, I was thinking, I've got to stay behind, do the GCSEs and miss the finals. But still to this day, obviously, I'm quite thankful the school that I was at. They able to obviously change my exam timetables to actually do the exams in Malta. So there was one point where we played Portugal in a semi-final and won the game, and then the day after I was sitting an English exam. We walked into the exam hall, me and another lad, and all the Maltese people started standing up and clapping. So yeah, it was a very different circumstance doing my GCSEs, but walked away with all the grades I needed and European Championship winners medal. So
perfect. And what were you, 16 then?
Yeah, 16 then.
Yeah. And it wasn't just you, there was one other.
Yeah, there was one other. Yeah, he obviously, I don't know what he done in his grades, but obviously he got top goal scorer in that tournament, so obviously showed that.
So who was that?
Dominic Solanke.
Oh yes. Yeah. Right. Okay, and in terms of travels, you mentioned New Zealand there. That there's a story to that one as well.
Yeah, so I was actually playing the 23s game, pre-season game against Havant and Waterlooville, and the first thing going coach drove down from West Ham to basically say to me that you need to go home, pack your bags, you'll be flying to New Zealand tomorrow with the first team. So I was like, a bit of a whirlwind this is going to be. So
how old were you then?
I was 16 then as well. Yeah. So this was the season after the Euros as well. Yes. So that whole year was quite a big year for me. So we went out to New Zealand for about 5-6 days. Involved obviously with the training in the first team, and then the last game in Sydney, about 20 minutes to go, the gaffer's just turned around and gone and said, go on, get your kit off, you're coming on. So, yeah, so I made my debut, played 20 minutes, and obviously kept a clean sheet, didn't concede, so I still claim it as a clean sheet.
And that was in front of a big crowd as well?
Yeah, that was in front of about 30,000 people.
Yeah.
So as a 16-year-old, you imagine it's quite daunting on the other side of the world. The funny part was I made my debut, and because the time differences are obviously quite substantial between England and New Zealand, I was texting my parents, but they were still asleep at the time. So then they woke up and read everything, and when they text me and say congratulations, I was asleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very surreal experience for sure.
Yeah. But for whatever reasons, your time at West Ham came to an end, didn't it?
Yeah, so I wanted a new challenge. That was the thing. Like, being there for so long, I felt like I could have done everything I possibly could in that time. Obviously went on loan during that time as well. I've done 2 loans when I was at West Ham, which was a very development experience for me, which is great. But then I needed a new challenge, so hence moved on to Watford.
Yeah. And you were, how long were you at Watford? 2 seasons?
Yeah, 2 seasons at Watford. Yeah.
But I think this is actually about the 4th time I've met you, because Douse has been trying to get you for ages, isn't he? In all sorts of different ways.
Yeah, so obviously me and Douse obviously know each other from Hampton. He was obviously a great manager for me. He certainly developed me at West Ham, and actually I'm quite thankful to him because he actually kind of helped me out getting the move to Watford from West Ham. At the time, obviously went on loan to Hampton, had a decent 6 months, and then he was obviously talking to Watford for me, and that's how the move came about.
Right.
The first 6 months of my time at Watford, I was actually on loan again with Douse, at Hampton again, where we had another successful 6 months. And yeah, obviously, like you say, he tried to get me back.
Yeah, the first time I met you was this time between seasons last year.
Yeah, it was.
And Douse's office was down the stairs then, and you were chatting over the possibility of coming on loan from Watford, and that very nearly happened, didn't it?
Yeah, it was so close to happening, but for obviously circumstances that were above me and above Douse, that it didn't happen. But we've always stayed in touch. He's always called me here and there. He calls me when obviously the transfer windows are going on as well. But yeah, like I say, I'm pleased to obviously get this all done now, so I'm actually here permanently.
Yeah, and to bring us up to date, you spent a reasonable amount of last season on loan at Eastbourne, didn't you?
Yeah.
But not when we played against Eastbourne.
Nah, so the first time I saw Eastbourne play was actually come down here to watch Eastbourne play. I think it was the 29th of December, just to see what Eastbourne were about really, and obviously I think you guys beat them 2-0. So yeah, no, Eastbourne loan was it was a different challenge to what I've experienced before. Whereas at Hampton we were challenging for promotion or trying to get through the playoffs. The Eastbourne one was a little bit different. Probably some people will say we underachieved, but at the same time we managed to stay in the league, which was vital really for the club. So it's another experience I can take forward.
Yeah, and how did Douse sell you coming to Woking?
Well, like you say, like you say, obviously I've always been in contact with him. When he first got the job, like I've played against Woking, where Anthony Limbrick was the manager in the pre-season game here, and you know the size of the club. As soon as you say Woking to anyone, they go, oh, yeah, big club, great fans. So he'd obviously tried to sell it to me. Nothing didn't happen, which was obviously disappointing. But I've seen the crowds here when I obviously come to watch the Woking Eastbourne game. Crowds are good. They're always loud, always singing, always like with you, which I think is vital, especially going forward now.
Right. And what do you think? What would you say are your best qualities as a goalkeeper? And I always say this same line: don't be modest.
I think shot stopping. Shot stopping is definitely one of my. I love making saves. I've always loved making saves since a young age to the age I am now. Like I certainly one. I'm a talker. You very rarely hear me, don't hear me.
Yeah.
I'm always talking, always trying to talk to my defenders. And I think as well, because for a defender as well, because I play with quite a few different back fours, whether it being shuffled around or from whatever teams, as long as they know that I'm there, it's almost like the resort to keep the ball out of the net. And I feel with my shot stopping qualities that I'm able to do this as well.
And do you like coming out and claiming a cross?
Yeah, there's not.
Are you a puncher or
to
a
be honest,
catcher?
it depends on the scenario. That's the thing. There's nothing better as a goalkeeper. I feel like coming for a cross and taking it. It just takes the pressure off the defenders, which is obviously my job at the end of the day. So
yeah. And a question I'm asking most players, Dowse has very publicly said a couple of weeks ago that he's only interested, or not only interested, but he wants to find players that have got a point to prove,
Yeah.
because that will motivate them.
Mm.
So what's your point to prove?
So obviously I've done the 4 loans in the Conference South, and like I feel like maybe it could have obviously gone a different scenario. So I think now, like this year for me is a massive, it's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be one year I want to really push on from it, and I feel like there was obviously a few offers from elsewhere, and I felt this was the best one. Like it's obviously shown over the times that Dowse has helped me out massively. I think it's time for me to give something back to him as well. And move on.
But it's very much a two-way thing, isn't it? Because
Of course.
I've heard him try to persuade you the fact that this is a shop window for you, as well as being hopefully a fantastically successful keeper for working.
No, of course, because like at the end of the day, what the academy, don't get me wrong, I've done the academy years and all that, but what the academy football didn't give you is the the grounds to actually be able to perform on. Whereas obviously you get 3,000 people down here, you can get 10 people at an academy game that are just scouts at the end of the day. So this for me, it's another learning curve in my development to obviously push on, and like I say, obviously Dowse will help me out, and it's obviously it's like you say, it's a two-way thing, and as long as you can get everyone on side as well as a squad, you can get the squad gelling together. There's no reason why we can't have a successful year.
Right, and I believe it's also been told or said to you that you're coming to compete for the spot as number 1 goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, 100%. I like competition. It obviously drives you on as well. So when you've got like healthy competition between 2 keepers as well. So for example, obviously Gomez and Foster, like it's very close to seeing them train those 2 together. Like although Foster played most of the Premier League games, Gomez was never sulking, and it just goes to show like if you can get that bond between the 2 keepers, knowing that you're pushing each other all the way, it kind of improves everyone. Like it gives that buzz across the whole team as well, because it's not just my position. There's obviously a whole back 4 players as well, and other positions are obviously going to compete in order to be in a starting 11 on the Saturday.
Sure. Let's turn to something slightly other than football just for a minute. You've got some ability at cricket as well, haven't you?
Yeah, quite a few years ago. Yeah, so I was county in Sussex.
Yeah, you sort of almost had a bit of a choice to make, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of did when I was about 15. I was kind of torn between cricket and football. My decision from cricket kind of made it a bit easier, because there was another story to this, is that I got called up for England to play in the Nordic tournament in Norway. About 3 weeks before that, I was wicket keeping and caught a ball in the end of my thumb and cracked the tip of my finger. Tip of my thumb, sorry, and missed the tournament.
Yeah.
So that kind of thought, no, let's do football. Let's go with football now. This is the most opportunity for me.
So you were a wicket keeper. Were you a wicket keeper batsman?
I'm probably more of a batter as well. So I kind of like, for my school team, I kind of like done everything. Yeah. Really. Yeah. So like I was never like this, like nice. I'll take it easy and all this. Like I walked in there, I'd hit the ball round. I think my height kind of gave me a bit of an advantage as well over the boys in my year. So
you bowled a bit as well.
Bowled a bit. Yeah. It wasn't really quick. It was quite a it was a stiff arm movement. I changed from pace to off spin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at one point. So
I just wondered if you gone for pace bowling because of your height, because you can bang it in from a long way up in the air.
The problem was though, obviously when I did get old, I did bang it in too much, and obviously then they tried to turn me into a batsman, and that was it.
Right.
Just a pure batter. So.
Do you still play at all now? Or? No,
I haven't picked up a bat in about 5-6 years now.
Right. Do you foresee that maybe you will turn to it again after football?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Obviously, football's my love. It's always been my love as well. So it might happen in the future when obviously my football career is finished. But for now, definitely not. And
something else I pick up from researching into you, that you're a very positive thinker, aren't you?
Yeah,
I strongly believe in that.
Yeah, I do. Like I think for me, like in the position that I'm in, like on the pitch as well, if you come across like negative or underconfident, it doesn't set well for anyone in the team or yourself or even the people watching you. I feel like there's never you can achieve anything. That's the thing. You can achieve anything in football if you put your mind to it. I've seen people do it around me. I've done it myself as well at a young age, and partly probably reason why I come here as well, because I've always wanted to play in front of bigger crowds and actually put myself, like I say, in the shop window. and for me, like, if you think positive and you are confident, there's no like end to success you could achieve as a player and as a person as well.
Of course, and well, we all hope and wish that that's exactly what you achieve. Thanks very much for your time coming in this morning. It's great to see you here again, and we very much look forward to seeing you playing in the Woking colours.
Perfect. Thank you.